1 second. We should be starting now. Alright. Hello and welcome back to Minecraft Golden Age, episode 1100. We're on our 1100th episode of Minecraft Golden Age. And here we are today in the wild currently, as that's where we last left off last episode. And last episode we were gathering up some squid and blocks of clay, which I have tons of clay. And this is all going to be used for bricks. Bricks are so, needed for a lot of build. Quick snack break. Alright, so let us continue on. But, you know what, my brain started firing on me there. The last episode we left off killing some squids, and we got a bunch of clay, and yeah, that's where I was. So, clay blocks. I needed clay blocks for working on our village, and we needed bricks, for other stuff. Mainly a big build project that I cannot remember the name of, but I do remember that I did need it for building some of the silos over at our barn, which we've got built here and we've got built here, and then we've got to expand this outwards to kind of encompass more of this land here and basically create a kind of ranching system out here where we'll have different species and all that farming. So I might actually breed ducks out here if I could remember how to breed ducks, but I am not an expert on that. If any of you know how to breed ducks in Minecraft Mo Creatures, let me know, because I still have not figured it out. They said bread, I tried bread. They said seeds, I tried seeds, but I just cannot figure it out. Oh, I am terrible at it. I am terrible. Alright. But, what could we talk about today? That's what we could talk about. So, a while back on the channel we were playing, what was it called? It was Encodia. I'm actually thinking about replaying that game, because I did use a guide throughout that game, because I just could not figure it out. It was so difficult. The ending was kind of sad, to be honest. The ending was kind of sad. We got to our goal, and then the goal snatched out of, our hands. We were left alone. But, still, why is there so many dogs here? I'm just walking through this forest, talking about, such sad stuff, and there's, so many dogs around here. I've never seen this many wolves around here, especially in Minecraft. Hello there. You know what, I'm clipping that. We were just having a discussion there. There we go. That deserves to be clipped. Alright. Back on track. So, I was planning on doing a, Encodia, replay at some point soon. We do actually have to make our way through some games very soon, and probably very fast. I need to finish off my Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider, which we had a crash last episode. I don't know if it's a performance thing or something. And if it does crash again at the same bit, I will probably be very disappointed. Because, I put that much effort into the game and then bam, it does that to me. How could it? How could it? Also, why am I wandering through this? Ah, there we go. I was wandering in the wrong direction. But, what was it? I lost track of where we were in the conversation. But I do plan on doing a bunch of other series beforehand. We're currently doing Tomb Raider. I plan on doing Wolfenstein after that. I was thinking about doing a custom outfit for that. But the problem is trying to get it done before the thingy will probably be the most difficult. You know what we could do? How about we go on a little bit of a walk? Also, there's my barn slowly loading, and it gave me a heart attack there. How about we go on a little bit of a wander, a walkabout, a little bit of a exploration for a tiny little bit before we get back on track with what we're doing. It's over here, or over here, somewhere over here. Somewhere over here is the cave entrance to Daryl's Mine, named after Daryl from episode 14, a NPC, which sadly died in episode 14. It's so sad that still. I still remember going, Daryl, no! And then he died. That was a great time. That was a great time. The problem with the place down here is that it is extremely, and I mean extremely, terrible tunneling. I know exactly where to go. It's this direction. Is that not the way to go? I thought that was the way to go. Alright, let me shove my clay in my pockets. There we go. Grab that stone. I thought this was the direction. I thought that was the direction. I guess not. I must be thinking of the one that's under our house. Yeah, that must be it. And you know what? Just place that there. Place a torch there. Alright. Trying to remember where I have to go. It's the second one. I'm pretty sure. Second one leads to my nether portal. Never mind. I definitely placed these down on purpose. That is where... That's not where Daryl died. It's a wider area. You can kind of see where I blocked off stuff. I like to come down here every once in a while. Some of you who are watching this like back to back will probably remember a lot of these, you know, stuff if you're watching this back to back. Like if you're watching every single episode, like you're a real champion. But also, you probably know what this area is exactly. This is actually, I actually lost everything to the wizard. But it turns out that was a mistake because my stuff was actually on top of here. Which I had to respawn back in, you know, because we were episode 14 and losing all of that to the wizard was basically something that I could not re-duplicate at the time. I did sacrifice some stuff, you know, to pay for my sins. But I had to summon in, you know, the certain item and the certain enchantment. Basically down to the T, the exact block and all that. But I tell you, we were in episode 14. I was so depressed after losing 2 Jungle Paradises, Season 4 and Redwood, that, you know what, it was kind of like old to me, you know. We lost Redwood, we lost Jungle Paradise Season 4, and they just happened so close to each other that, you know, we were episode 14. I didn't think the series would get to episode 15. But I had to do that, you know, spawning in those blocks, and that was, you know, probably the most important thing, you know, that kept the series going, to be honest, because I was ready to give up by that point. No more Jungle Paradise. You know what, I never said that before. It feels so strange to say that, if I'm being honest. It feels so strange to say that. No more Jungle Paradise, and then also that being my breaking point. It was really my breaking point. I lost Daryl as well, so that was extra, you know, pain. Like, that would have been the end of Jungle Paradise altogether. I would have started something else, another modded series. But here we are, episode 1100, and here I am having a little bit of a nostalgic walkabout. I think... yeah, you were your own thing altogether. That was another wizard fight. We fought so many wizards, I tell you, that it's become laughable, to be honest. Why did I place these 2 blocks down here anyway? I never knew that. Never knew. This is where we were mining up with our son to try and get him to mine for me. But turns out, the modern games, you can't actually do that. Well, the modern updates, that's what I meant to say. The modern updates, you can't do that. You can't make your child mine for you no more. I guess he learned from that Minecraft Oasis series when Toby mined himself into that. Well, Joby. Joby, no! And then he mines into lava. Ah, nostalgia there. Nostalgia. I remember I used to watch that in like secret because, you know, it was Barry's favourite YouTuber. So I'd watch it in secret without them knowing. Didn't watch much of it though. I think one thing that I did watch the most, like Minecraft wise back in the day, was probably Chris and Mike and Carflow. And a few other people that, you know, Apple when they were still good. Let's see. You know what, there's like so many like YouTubers that I could say now. But they're like, you know, at the age of my memory of, you know, remembering their name exactly. The old Sky Does Minecraft, before they became, you know, a terrible person. Yo, what do you think you're doing? You come to give me more food? I'll sleep here. Get the night away. What time are we at? 11 minutes? Whew. I do apologise, you know, I spent that much time this episode already. And it's just been me walking around. We actually do need to head back home. Hello there, Nod4, how's it going? Did it die? It died. I was wondering why it was not attacking me anymore. It just died. Alright, now that I have 4 wheat, I am going to breed up more cows. Oh wait, I can't breed up more cows. It's still growing. Poop. You could have told me that, gang. You could have told me that. Did you eat 2? I had 4 of those. I'm pretty sure I ate 4. Actually, I do have wheat on me. There we go. Another sheep. Oh, I'm able to eat it. I ate my I ate my own wheat. Oh, I'm so terrible. I blamed the sheep. How could I? How could I? I didn't realize I could eat wheat. Alright. Oh, I fell in here. Don't want to do that. Alright. I'm actually going to shove that wheat back in the backpack. I will probably pick more up from home that we're actually going to have to do very soon because I need to go and process all of that, you know, clay blocks. And I just realized that I should do that now. Or we're going to be here the entire episode. And here we are. Back we are. Just walking around here is just nostalgic for some reason. You know when you're in the world for so long that, you know, even like the tiniest thing becomes nostalgic for some reason? It's so odd. Like, I know I've been here for ages, but you know, it doesn't feel that long. And plus, it just does not feel like it, you know. Just does not feel like it. I'm actually thinking about replacing these paths. You've seen them for ages in my series, but I am actually thinking about doing that very soon. Yo, Gary, how's it going? You alright? Alright, let's get a move on, Gary. Come on, Gary. Come on. Wee. Alright, you can stay there, Gary. Just need a little bit of a speed boost. I still find it funny that that's a fish, you know, fishing bit, the fishing net, and it's just out in the open like that. Actually, I need to see if all my animals here, Snowball, Wojtek, the Pope. Aragoat. And that is Burns in the corner. Burns, Wojtek, Argoat, Snowball, the Pope. Yeah, we're all good. We're all good, gang. Now, I should focus on something that I needed to do originally. That is, I'm going to need to make a shovel with fortune and no efficiency. I know it'll, you know what? Efficiency 2. Efficiency 2. I forgot I needed to craft it, so let me walk over to the lab and do that. I do still quite enjoy this carpet that we have down here. The lab just, it seems too, you know, singy walking in it now. Like, I don't really walk in this place that often. You know, we haven't really just stopped for a little while. I've been working on, you know, Vox Sound for so long that, you know, it feels weird, you know, just walking back home. Efficiency 2, Unbreaking, and Fortune 3. That's exactly what I need. That's all that I can get on there. I do want to get some enchantment mods, so if anybody's had any ideas on that. Why is the couch like this? My couch was not broken like that. Oh, did it see with the carpet? No. Okay, that's odd. That's very odd. Actually, you know what, I will probably just do it down in the artificial cave. Never mind, I just realised. Feels odd walking on that though. For some reason, it just feels odd. Is there... Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. I was trying to figure out the button for seeing the thingy there. Yeah. Yeah, that does not have durability. I don't know what happened to our previous ones. There's my bed. Coal should be around here somewhere. I've plenty of coal somewhere. I have plenty of wood. I actually organised my wood. I have plenty of acacia. I have plenty of acacia. The wood that I'm, you know, ran out of. Here's my coal supply. Let's see. Grab me a stack of that. I'll actually mine that up the now. Tell you, the best strategy is just to look at a wood wall so you don't accidentally break the wall behind it. Should be repairing my pickaxe as well while I'm doing this. Probably repair my armor first, to be honest. Yes, repaired my armor. Not repair my tool at all. How could it? How could it? Alright. Let us go, and we'll turn this all into blocks. And it's just got to make it a little bit easier to carry. That is my main idea. There we go. Alright. I'm pretty sure I was going to add a mod that if you sleep in the bed, it gives you extra boost. I'm pretty sure that was mod or something. If you sleep in the same bed for a long period, it gives you, you know, some bucks. I was thinking about getting that as a mod. I really like that. I like the little touches like that, you know, that really make this, you know, nice. We actually do need to add more to this area. If any of you have any suggestions on what we should add to this place, let me know down below. There's a lot of stuff that I should really add, and there's... Oh, sorry about scratching the mic there. And there's a lot of things that, you know, I had planned to do, but never got around to doing. We have this original tunnel. I don't think I'll touch this tunnel anytime soon, because I don't know if I could replicate it into anything better. But this area down here, I do need some suggestions. And then probably this area up here. It stayed the same for so long, but it does need some changes. I kind of just kept it as kind of like an artificial cave. vibe. But sorry, I started burping there. But the artificial caves here, that's lush caves. But I always kept it as an artificial cave vibe for some reason. Ooh. Gas just rushed up into my chest and my mouth there. Oh, that is sore. Alright. So, let us actually go in here. There's all my glass that I was smelting. I really wish that thingy worked. If I'm being honest, I really do wish it worked. And where is it? Where is it? Where? There it is. Ow. Little tiny fly attacked my nose. Being a menace it is. And the clay should form there. Now this is the reason why I got this shovel in the first place. Is to do this. And just break it all. Imagine it fell into the hopper and started cooking up. Oh, that would crack me up. I really do need to get this thing working again. We had the problem with this industrial, thing, that it was supposed to cook a lot of stuff, but at the same time it just would not cook a lot of stuff. And it was just really annoying because, I had all this stuff to cook, but then it would just not cook. Alright. Let me shove that in there. Grab the next stack and just start placing it all. Mine it all out. Hello there, Nix. How's it going? Hopefully you're doing alright and staying safe. We're currently doing some getting bricks. We need bricks. We need a lot of bricks. What could we talk about while we're working on this? Well, we're talking about new series I was planning on doing. And I might as well give you a spoiler for a future series I'm actually planning on doing. And that is playing the Mad Max game for the first time. I've seen it over the years, but I never played it, so I'm going in completely blind for this. And you know what, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm not a fan of Mad Max, but I thought, you know what, that could be a fun game to play on the channel. Just with it being an open world game and how many open world games we've played on the channel. I do plan on playing Far Cry 6 as well on the channel, but that won't be for a long, long time. Far Cry 5 seems to be taking forever. Like, I feel like I could have, finished that in a few weeks, but the person that I'm collabing with, Carrie Shimmer. You know what, I can't remember how to say their name properly. Let's see. But Carrie, we do it within 2 hours each, collab, and that's every Saturday, every other week. So it'd be next Saturday, after the Saturday coming, that we'll be playing again. And I'm kind of sad at that because I really want to get into it again, But, you know what? The time just flies by in between anyway. So it seems like a long time, and it is a long time, but at the same time it's not really a long time. But I do kind of wish that I would get more into it. Like, I feel like I'm just, not doing enough in it. I feel like I could do more. But, you know what, that's up to when we next, play. We'll finish off the one region, complete all the stuff in that region. That being the first region of that, guy. Can't remember his name, the yes guy. Jacob or something, I'm not sure. I think that might be the other guy. We'll finish off that and then, yeah, that would not do too bad. Then we'll be on to probably Singy next after that. Could you explain your lore to me? I've been to your streams before, but some VTuber is a new concept to me. Alright, you know what? I can give you the rough rundown of it. We are waiting on all this cooking, so I could... Well, I was thinking about going off screen there for a second. You know what? That's something that I could do. I know I'm waiting on it cooking, but you know what? I do actually have the full story on my Blue Sky. So, you know what? I'll go over to Blue Sky and I'll read you the story of how my stump self lost its treetop. And you basically do get a bunch of the other information. I tell you, I have the information all over the place, to be honest. It's really fragmented, if I'm being honest. Alright, is this the full thing? Alright. Before Oki lost their treetop, and most of their trunk, they stood tall and proud on the edge of the great forest. They had long branches and watched over over golden fields and ploughed farmland, where a breeze always danced in the air between the trees, the grass and the earth. I should really fix that typo there. Near the forest edge was a small farm, and on that farm lived two children, a curious girl named Julia, and her best friend, Aspen. Every day after their chores, they would run barefoot through the fields, laughing in the tall grass, chasing dragonflies. And when they were tired, they would return to Oki's shade, lying beneath the soft rustling leaves under the sun, until the sun began to dip below the hills, the distant hills. There are some, little, typo bits that I should have fixed a long time ago. I did actually fix them, but I need to fix them again. Oki loved those afternoons. They never spoke, but trees have hearts, and Oki's was full each time. Seasons passed, the children grew. Julia and Aspen fell in love. One summer day, they carved a little heart into Oki's bark, with their names inside. A heart. Julia plus Aspen. Time moved on, and even when they became adults, they still visited. Sometimes in silence, sometimes with stories. Oki listened to them all. But one autumn, the wind changed. Julia was going to have a baby, their first child. Oki felt joy dancing in the wind for the first time in a long time. Then one day the breeze didn't return. There were no footsteps in the field, no laughter, no heartbeat under the branches. Julia passed away during childbirth. The baby, too, had never opened his eyes. Aspen, crushed by grief, disappeared for a while to be alone, and then they returned, not to rest, but with an axe. So, are you stumped? Yes. Well, we're getting to that part of the story. Okay? It's a very long story. Maybe I wrote too much, Alright, here we go. This is how Oki becomes a stump, my stump self. They cried, shouted, and struck Oki's trunk over and over again with that axe, right through the heart they had once carved with Julia. Oki didn't fight it. Trees don't hate, they only ache. When Aspen left, they walked toward the farmhouse at night. Fire lit in the... Well, I missed, this bit's a little bit, badly written. But they set their house on fire. Also, a little bit of a fact. Aspen in the story is non-binary. I decided, to throw up a little bit, no one will know. Alright. No one ever saw Aspen again after that fire at the farmhouse. Oki waited. 1 week, 1 month, season turned, no one came. The animals of the forest, seeing Oki's sorrow, gathered fallen twigs, feathers, moss, and leaves, and made 2 lifelike big dolls that resembled Julia and Aspen. They sat in the grass and kept Oki company, and slowly Oki healed. One day during a solar eclipse celebration held by the wise turtle elder, Oki met someone new. Nutty, a cheerful acorn with too much energy, and a heart bigger than their acorn top. They became fast friends after that. Together they built a cozy little house for Oki to make up for the missing treetop. It wasn't the same, but it was home, especially with friends. Years passed. Then something strange happened in the sky. A being, a spirit, from beyond time and space, crash landed right onto Oki's head. Her name was Tango, aka Meryl. As that is also the character that we are currently. My model here is Meryl, the wooden doll. But that's a little bit of a spoiler for, what's happening later on. Definitely nothing's happening with those dolls that were made earlier. Alright, where did I, last leave off? Crash landed right onto Oki's head. Her name was Tango, aka Meryl. And the crash accidentally fused her spirit with Oki's. Tango couldn't leave, but she couldn't anymore. Wait, I misspelled there. Do apologise. They were basically stuck together there. That's what I'm going to say. They and Oki learned to speak with each other, share memories, and grow together. There's a little bit, roughed up bit here because I rewrote that many times. One day Tango asked about the old dolls. Oki showed them the dolls. The doll, made to look like Julia. Through a magic Oki had learned from past adventure, from a past long ago of an adventure with Nutty. Well, not long ago then. I'm kind of just adding stuff as I go along with the story. A special body spell, once used by wandering spirits, Tango was able to bring the doll to life. It was stiff at first, but Tango eventually got adjusted to it. Like a puppet, but she practiced, she blinked, breathed, which did take a lot more work and effort, and then finally walked. That doll became Meryl, aka Tango's gentle human-like form. She looked human, moved like one, but inside she still held the quiet strength of what they were before, and the rooted heart of a tree. And from that moment, Tango and Oki became more than just tree and spirit, more like family, and explored the world together. And that is the 3 pieces that I actually have. There is some that's chopped out of it. Also, what time are we at now? Poop, we're at 33 minutes? We're gonna have to end the episode, this is episode 1100, and I took too long reading the story. Instead of smelting these, We're actually getting tons of bricks. This is a lot faster than I thought it would be. This is a lot faster than I thought it would be. But that is basically the lore, if I'm being honest. That's the lore. I do quite enjoy the lore. So we have Oki, the stump, that is my stump self, and we have Meryl, the wooden doll model that I'm currently using. That's why we have some wooden doll joints and arms, which appear and disappear because... Okay, you're currently in an ad, I do apologise. I tell you, it happens so random, the ads now, that I basically have no control over the ads now, and it's really annoying. Really annoying. I think that's one thing that I hate about Twitch now, is how broken the ads are. And I'll put that in there. Because for the last while, I've been trying to work on the ads, when they should appear. And they never appear when they're supposed to. And it is like, it's really annoying, the ad system now. That's what I'm gonna say, it's really annoying. Alright. But, back to what I was saying. So, we have our stump self, that is Oki the Stump, and we have Meryl, which is my wooden doll self, the model that I'm currently using. You know what? I do quite enjoy Meryl. I do like to swap them in and out. You know what? I do want to get a 3D model of OK the Stump one day. Probably the cheapest one that you could get, to be honest. I would not want to spend like a lot of money on, you know, Oki's model. I just want a simple model. That's what I would want for Oki. Doesn't have to be anything impressive. That's, you know, that's idea. Alright, let me get back to breaking this now. Hopefully you're back from the ad. I don't know how long the ad would be, because, you know, I place a certain time of how long the ad should be, but then no, it's not like 30 seconds, it's not like 1 minute, it's, you know, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But it should be 30 seconds or 25 seconds, you know. The lowest that I set, you know, is like the worst, because it always appears more often. And then the highest when it's just really annoying. I tried making a 2D model. The 2D art itself looks great, however, I need to re-rig it. Okay. Re-rig it because it doesn't work now. You know what, that is understandable, I tell you. A lot of, like, you know, models like to break, if I'm being honest. They like to break, and it's really annoying. Especially if it's 2D. 2Ds like to break so often. So, thankfully I do use, what do you call it, VTuber for my PNG model. I think that's like the biggest, you know, plus, is that we use VTuber for PNG models. Fujitech's not bad for reactive ones, but I still quite enjoy VTuber. There is a sister app basically to VTuber that I do want to try and get into, but it's super complicated, so I never got into it recently. I'll probably get into that one day, but for now I'll probably just shelf that idea for another day. But also, hopefully you did hear what I was talking about, you know, before. We have OK the Stump and we have Meryl the wooden doll self. So two selves that I can just interchangeable, you know, between the two. Swap out, that's what I should say. Swap out. This is gonna take forever. This is going to take forever. I might also restart stream in a second just because it is getting long, this episode. 40 minutes, almost 40 minutes. So I'll probably restart stream. Lure, that is super complicated. Yeah, it is really complicated. The thing is, I tried to make it as simple as possible. Basically, the treetop gets chopped down by Aspen after their wife died in childbirth, and that, you know, doll that was made after becomes Tingleberry, aka Meryl, the wooden doll, and, you know, Aspen chopped down OK's treetop, and that's how they became a stump. I say that as if not making an entire game series for my son. You know what, I always wanted to get into making my own game. And if I did have to make a game, I would probably have to try and find like one of my old ideas. I have like so many like old ideas just scattered around. Some of them bad, some of them good. And there's like some really like good games, you know, and terribly written for the time because I was much younger. But I would love to get back into those, you know, make my game, you know, of those. If I had to make a game of myself, you know, of my channel, now that I was thinking about it, that would be like, you know, that would be like, what do I pick to add to it? Do I add this lore from like ages ago that no one will understand, or, you know, I'm just thinking like that. If I did do a game of my, you know, character, I would probably have to make it kind of like Super Mario, probably. Platformer, kind of like Super Mario. I feel like that's kind of the funnest thing, because there's so much that you can do with a platformer like that. Plus, I can make people feel the torture that they made me endure. But what game are you making about? Like, what genre have you gone into if you're making a game series about your character? Because I tell you, that is a lot of work for, you know, your Sona. But not, you know, not a bad idea at all. Not a bad idea at all. My first game is horror. Okay, that's like a big change of what I thought it was gonna be like. You know, I thought it'd be, you know, I thought it'd be like, oh, you know, it's gonna be like, you know, this genre, but horror is your first one. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be crazy, I tell you. That is going to be crazy. Like, I've seen so many people do, like, you know, VTuber games over the years. Or, you know, Sona games over the years. But I don't think I've seen one that's horror. So I think you're probably gotta be in a very unique field. That's what I'm gonna say. You definitely gotta be in a unique field there. So you can take plenty advantage of it. That's what I'd say. You can take plenty advantage of it. There we go. I'm slowly just filling up all of these. I'm very surprised on how fast they're getting emptied. Pretty sure we might actually run out of room. I actually really like this shovel. It's slow, but it does the job for what I'm kind of doing here. I kind of feel like I'm a train conductor, you know, shoveling the coal into this thing. It's not even about my Sona. Just say intro to my Sona's world. You know what? If your Sona's world is like horror, that's gotta be like, you know, that's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's gotta be like, you know, how do you top it? You know, that's what I'm gonna say. How do you top it? I don't think you could top, you know, making your Sona's, you know, intro, you know, game horror. You know what? Give me a rundown of what your what you call it, story is about. You know, I feel like I could understand it more then. Why did this never work? I never understood it. I never did get any. I think it was just too advanced. That's what I'm gonna say. It was just too advanced for its time of 1.12.2. Put that in that. There we go. You know what, I'm kind of just extending this episode out longer, just so I can smell all the bricks. We have so many bricks. And we can actually store up a lot of bricks in the hoppers. So that's a plus there. That is actually out of thingy. There we go, put that in there. Put that in there. If any of them go out, we know that it's probably just coal. Are these actually full? What's clogging up the hoppers? I don't actually know. You know what? Do I have any shulkers that I could use to carry all of this? I have this, you know, red shulker that I was using for wood. I could just fill it up with bricks. I guess it kind of fits the color, to be honest. Kind of fits the color. The story is way too complicated to do in Twitch chat, so I'll forward it to your Discord. Alright, alright. That's probably understandable, I tell you. There we go. We've smelted so many bricks and it's not even gonna be like this is like a couple stacks I have probably now. If I'm being honest, this is probably just a couple stacks, maybe not even a couple stacks. But you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing that story. It's gotta be epic, I tell you. It's gotta be epic. What could we talk about? I'm actually thinking about redoing a video from a long time ago, and it was of the first horror game that we played on the channel. And I'm actually thinking about redoing it because I was so scared that I actually have to play with my headset on my shoulders. It's a really short horror game, to be honest. But it was just... it had some deep stuff in it. That's what I'm going to say. It has some deep stuff in it. I really do want to replay it. Just because I feel like I could, you know, make it a lot better today. Could make it a lot better today. I just DM'd you 3 paragraphs of lore. And it is heavily summarized. Alright. I look forward to seeing it. I look forward to seeing it. Dang, we already got 3 in there already. We have so many bricks. I'm gonna have to try and, you know, turn these all into, you know, proper bricks. I probably do have some... so I heard something take some damage there. Probably do have some bricks just scattered around my world somewhere. We did actually use bricks heavily in another project, so you know what, we could take a little bit of a walkabout while this is smelting. This is where we had that ogre attack 3 years ago, I tell you. 3 years ago. It's gotta be hitting its 4th anniversary. Doesn't feel like that, I tell you. Does not feel like we've had this world for 5 years. Or 6 years now. 5 or 6 years, I'm not sure. We started back in 2020, right? Or the start of 2021. I'm not sure. It's been quite some time. But the only build project that I can think that used a lot of bricks has to be in our deep area of my place. Not 6 or 7. 6 or 7 paragraphs? I don't understand. Alright. But... sorry, I'm just... okay, I get it now. You know what, that's actually the first time that that's been said in chat. Thankfully I've had, you know, a non-problematic chat with that topic. I've seen what do you call it? What was it? Who was it that it was getting spammed in their chat? I think it was Yomi Quinley. It was getting spammed in their chat, and I was like, oh, thankfully I don't have like people like that in my chat, you know, that was just getting spammed constantly there. But I think the only place I actually spent a lot of bricks has to be this build project. It's this direction. I have to walk all the way over here. You know what, I'll just do the ladder. I really need to work on this build project. A lot of the areas that you're seeing here, like this entire area, to be honest, I built it, this entire bridge, I built it because I had a dream. I was building a bridge, so I built a bridge, and bam, it's basically the spitting image. You could call it prophetic dreams. I cannot prophetic. I can never remember its name. Oh, hello there, Power. Hopefully you're doing alright and staying safe. But this was like the place that I spent the most bricks, and I thought I would have some bricks left over in these chests. But it seems it's just mostly cobblestone. I'm actually thinking about going around my world and discovering all of the hidden chests around my world and just moving all of their contents to proper storage. That's what I'm gonna say. To proper storage, because we have too much cobblestone and other, you know, materials that's just scattered around my world, and then trying to find it is like, you know, pain. So I'm planning on just wrapping it all up in a nice bowl. Problem is, I have hidden a lot of those chests in the walls, kinda like that, and that is kinda the problem, because if they're hidden in the wall, how am I supposed to find them? And that is a problem. I have like 40 or 60 of them hidden in walls due to build projects like this taking a lot of mining. Sorry, my chest has just gotten very, like, you know, burpy, and I keep having to, like, you know, speak while I'm also doing it, and It's really annoying, I tell you. It's really annoying. Like, you're just trying to get it out of your chest, but it's just sticking in that little one point of your chest, and it's like, oh, it's really bad. Hate when that happens. Alright. I'm actually seeing if I have any bricks just scattered around. I heard zombies somewhere. I really did like the idea of building a little bit that went across here. I do actually need to continue this area and finish it off. Let me know if you have any ideas for this area. I should really, you know, do something here eventually. There's a lot of build projects that are just, you know, ideas I had, I put out there, I built it and all that. But they never seemed right. I probably might copy this over to there. That's a possibility. But I did have ideas for this area over here, but trying to get that done today and remembering what it was. I actually do still have my green book somewhere. I placed it somewhere. Where's my green book? There's my green book. With all of my build designs, I tell you. So basically the egg room. This is a room with a sunflower egg. It's not the best sunflower, but it's not also the best egg either. So I did my best, I tell you. I did my best. And then we also have this storage area over here. I could have used that end stone a long time ago. I'll probably use that end stone for when we're working on Mass Halden, our desert city. I used up a lot of the material scattered around here, that being stone. That's why there's a lot of gaps in here. Yeah, there's a lot of gaps in here because I took out all the stone. It's a good thing, but also a bad thing because I need stone every once in a while and then I have to go mine it now. Oh yeah, I was gonna place something here. Don't know what. And I need to finish off this hallway over here. It starts out as like, you know, a tall hallway and then slowly just gets smaller as you go along. I like the idea, but, you know, trying to make it work is kind of like, you know, half-half. I think the problem is I built it into a cave, and working with a cave, like this is all a natural cave basically. Apart from little bits of the roof, they have been mined up a little bit. This was basically a natural cave that I built inside of. And that's kind of where a lot of the problems form. Like this area over here, this is where we have a tree area. This entire area was basically its own thing. This actually looped up here into its own little tiny cave bit. But I kind of just mined it all out. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. That is much appreciated. I have been talking for 3 hours now. There we go. I've taken a big gulp there for yous. I'm actually running out of water. Alright. But I really do like this area. It's very, like, you know, nostalgic for, you know, this area. Like, I've walked through it that many times. But it also gives off a lot of old school Minecraft feels. The problem is, I don't think I could ever upgrade the walls around here. Upgrading the walls would be so nice, but at the same time, I just like the old school feel of it, and I don't know if it's nostalgia clashing, or it's just my mind saying, like, no, don't do that because it'll ruin everything. And it's really just, you know, a battle between the two. That's what I'm gonna say, it's a real battle between the two. Okay, I am going in the right direction. I thought for my, you know, second there, am I going in the wrong direction? No, we're going in the right direction. You know what, for being episode 1100, we have been hard at work smelting a lot of clay into bricks. We have gotten so much there. We have so many bricks. It's not actually like full bricks just yet, sadly. We should be able to finish off this chest here. Oh, shulker. Should I start turning it into bricks? I feel like I should. Start turning it into bricks. It's actually very cheap, if I'm being honest. expected to get a lot less. Why did I... I'm thinking of sandstone, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm actually getting a good, you know, price for my buck here. That's what I would say. If I was American. Yeah, I'm just joking. I tell you, I picked up, you know, saying buck as a child. It is like the most annoying thing to anyone around me. Because it's American slang. And it was American show. The opposite kind of happened for, you know, Americans. You know, you had Peppa Pig over there. Bam. You speak more British. And it cracks me up. I guess more Scottish. Peppa Pig is kind of Scottish, isn't it? We have so many bricks. Not bad. Not bad at all. Also, what time are we at now? We're almost at an hour. I should really end and restart the stream on the Twitch side, so I will probably end once we get back to Foxtown with all of our new secured bricks. This will do us quite well for our build project. Oops, sorry about that. Accidentally clicked N there twice and it just went out of the map. A little bit far. There we go. Perfectly. We are... I dropped my pickaxe. Luckily we're not in bedrock and it just phases through the world. That's not a snatch at, you know, bedrock there. It's more snatch at the developers. I really hate that bug. I'm actually looking forward to playing the old Minecraft 360 Minecraft. Just for nostalgia. I don't know if I would record it. I would love to record it because I remember, if any of you remember Dan TDM, when he broke his hand, he played Minecraft PE. But he upgraded that world, I'm pretty sure, to the 360, or eventually went on to the 360 version. And thinking back to that, I think, you know, how nostalgic that is for some reason. I don't know why it's so nostalgic, that, you know, one moment. But it's just nostalgic. I remember Minecraft 360, you know, from all the times that I played it. And it's just, it's such a nice time, to be honest. It's such a nice time. Like, if anyone disses, you know, Minecraft 360, I don't think they've really played Minecraft 360. The only problem is, I would say, is the crafting menu. It's kind of a bit slow. But then the thing is, they were working with what they had back in the day. And they eventually did actually do a drag feature, eventually, I'm pretty sure. You could drag it into the crafting, but it is very, very slow. And then we got crafting menus, you know, and everyone uses crafting menus, you know. Putting my crafting menu away. Sorry, I'm just getting nostalgic over here. Just getting nostalgic. Also, I was going to save this for next episode. And I'm just doing all this while I'm getting nostalgic. You know what, who cares? Who cares? I'll do it this episode. This is 1,100 episodes of this series. I might as well make it a longer episode. It's probably a dual episode by now, but you know, I'll make it a... Triple? Yeah. We'll make it a triple episode. And also, these houses are looking so much better with bricks. I don't know what it is, but maybe Barry was onto something. It looks a lot better if I swapped it out. And I need to go grab more bricks. I ran out. I have so many hours on Minecraft 360. You know what? It was just a better time. That's what I'm gonna say. It was just a better time. Like, I could probably dump a few hundred hours into it. I used to dump a few hundred hours into Pokemon games back in the day. But I tell you, like, I can't play a modern one no more. I don't know what it is. Modern ones are nice, but at the same time they're not. I don't know how to describe it. It's not that I'm growing older. Or I've, you know, not enjoyed Pokemon. It's just... they just have not improved from Singy. And they started getting better at the writing, at least. That's something that I could say. They started getting better at the writing. I like their dark, you know, tone that they took with Sword and Shield. No, it was Violet and Scarlet. That's it. They took a darker tone with that one, and that was like a big plus because, you know, they kept in the same box for ages, and it was kind of getting old. That's what we'll say. It was kind of getting old. Not the idea of Pokemon, but, you know, staying to the same concept over and over again and not improving. And then they kind of just went back to doing that, if I'm being honest. They kind of just went back to doing that. It's kind of sad because I was hoping for a lot more changes for the future of Pokemon. But, you know what? People still enjoy the new Pokemon games, that's what I'm going to say. People still enjoy the new Pokemon games. But hopefully they do improve them. That's what we'll say. But now back to Xbox 360. Now, I tell you, there was like so many games back in the day that I would just dump a few hundred hours into. If it was like, you know, Minecraft or Pokemon or, you know, singing. But for the Xbox 360, it was Minecraft. Far Cry 3 I actually played so much that I red ringed up death my Xbox 360 at the time, which was the most devastating thing because I had just gotten finished with the, what do you call it, the last special hunting mission. I'd just gotten done with that, and I was actually looking forward to just doing some random stuff. I would just go around making my own fun. I was really enjoying that. I don't know why. When I think back to it, I was thinking like, you know, like why am I, you know, going randomly, you know, everywhere. And it's like, you know, I don't understand past me sometimes. I don't understand past me. But past me, you know, played Far Cry 3 for, oh, I definitely put over a few hundred hours. Maybe 600 hours, maybe. Probably. I had a game on for ages. Could you play Castle Miner Z? You know what, I do actually plan on playing Castle Miner Z. I remember back in the day when Castle Miner Z was actually quite new, and I remember a certain video of it. It's been like years, but I don't know if that video's still up. If any of you remember that, you know, one video, I'm trying to remember what it was called. But there was this one specific video of Castle Miner, and it was like, did you play Castle Miner? Okay, did. Okay, I just read your message there, Duponch. I've never played Castle Miner Z. I seen it. Oh, that reminds me. I really want to get in contact with someone that would, like, you know, strip a game down and bring it to, like, you know, emulate it. Because there's like this one specific game that I've always wanted emulated, and it is, you know what, I could actually bring it up to now. I'll just put my photos to the side there. It might bug out my thing there. It is in this other page. It's not Junk Jack, it's not Six Guns. These are a lot of old games here. It's not Survival Craft. It is not Eden. Did I? No, I did not delete it. It's in that box. Where is that box? It is in here somewhere. It is not Lunacraft, if any of you remember that game. It is somewhere around here. I think I might have actually deleted it. Ah, Block Earth C. If any of you remember Block Earth C, that is an old iOS game that was a real gem of its time. A real gem. If any of you never got to play it, sadly, I don't think it's on the store anymore. But it was a real gem, I tell you. It was really unique for its, you know, time. Because imagine, you know, Minecraft PE looking like it was, you know, back then, like very old Minecraft. But, you know, a few years into it. But this game was like so realistic. The grass was so nice. There was dragons. Yeah, you couldn't really, you know, do much in the game. Pretty sure there was kind of like a survival thing to it, but if you bought the you know, priced version. The free version was kind of just basically creative. Kind of like normal Minecraft PE from back in the day. Pocket Light. Minecraft Pocket Light. Dang, that's years since I've said that. The bricks do actually look quite nice. I will have to mix in a few other things to kind of just get that nice gradient. Probably like, you know, something like a dark colour. It's gotta be hard to tell. There's like so many good blocks that you could use for singing bricks, but the problem is I'm using one of the important ones, being terracotta. But what could we talk about now? I'm going off track because my brain is kind of frying here, I tell you. I normally get off track and then I forget what I was going off track about. It'd be totally normal, that's kind of what you have to expect from the series. We have the horse stables set up. It's actually really not looking that bad. Really not looking that bad. I like this. It has all my bricks in it. It's the most expensive thing in the, you know, world now. Except for my armor, this thing cost me 124 diamonds to make. This is really looking nice. I really do like this. I'm actually thinking about, you know, fixing up this bit here. I was actually thinking about keeping it the same height, but I'm actually thinking about making some of it a different height so it goes down double. But it's gonna be very hard to do. Or at least make it look nice. Will that look nice? That's very hard to say. Looking good? Thank you, thank you. Let me just start breaking a lot of this. I can recycle a lot of this material now. It just makes this area look a little bit nicer, if I'm being honest. So what could we talk about while I'm working on this? Well, we have a lot of upcoming series, you know. But I should really talk about some replays, I tell you. I'm planning on replaying a few of the games on the channel. A lot of the older ones, to be exact. I was actually thinking about replaying Gunwitch. If any of you have heard of Gunwitch, it is a free Steam game. And it's actually a really nice game. It has a nice story and all that. I played it around 2020. It was the first, like, true Random Games Random Days episode of the Random Games Random Days series, which was a combination of Gaming Friday, which, you know, sounds, you know, so cringy now, and I'm bored. Because I didn't want to do, like, you know, so I would game every Friday, but then I would want to game, you know, any other day, you know, so I would have to, you know, mix up. So I had I'm bored, a series that I was bored in, so I would play games. And then I combined the both and got Random Games Random Days. And it sounds so stupid, to be honest. It sounds so stupid. But that is the lore, I tell you. That is lore. That is how we got here. That is how we got here. It sounds so stupid, you know. Gaming Friday. I actually, you know, mixed it up at one point, so it was Gaming Saturday. And I think I had Gaming Sunday as well. Because I would always miss the day. I was not very good at keeping track of days. Sorry, I'm just getting nostalgic over here. Just getting nostalgic and talking about low things. But as I always say, that's kind of what the series. What did I double say there? I said, you know, twice certain words there, and it was so annoying. But I accidentally forgot what I was gonna say. Ah yeah. It would not be my series if I did not get, you know, off track. There we go. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. And I planned to have a building over here. Sorry, I'm trying to think of, you know, what I was supposed to do. I planned on doing a building over there. Alright, keep that in mind. My brain's just not the best these days, I tell you. I have to wait for that to grow now. Alright. Break that. I have so many crafting tables scattered around my world that are just, you know, I feel so bad. I feel so bad having so many crafting tables. If any of you have many crafting tables in your world, you know, it's nice having them all, but at the same time I kind of feel bad for having so many. I did think that could work. I started thinking about this idea, I tell you. I'll talk you through it. But it's raining. Maybe it's a sign. But I wanted to build a elevated ground somewhere around here to probably around here. One, two. Trying to line these up properly. There we go. I was one block off, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I was one block off. But if I do this, and then I drag this out, kind of like we're expanding in MS Paint. Wanted to throw in some MS Paint there. I tell you, MS Paint is really underestimated. Like, there's some of the best things being made in MS Paint. And I feel like it just does not get the respect that it does. Like, Sassy the Sasquatch. If any of you know that. That thing was made in MS Paint, and that's like, you know, fever dream, but still that is like epic, you know, stuff made in MS Paint. And I feel like it just does not get the respect that it deserves, you know, these days, MS Paint. I miss MS Paint, you know. I still actually use MS Paint, but I miss it still. I miss it still. Alright, let's grab all of this. So we need to grab our wood backpack. Shove that in there. I can shove that crafting tables in there. I have 8 crafting tables, so there was 8 crafting tables scattered around here. So we had 4 up in a little bunch here because it was supposed to be like, you know, shipments. Let's see. I started rubbing against my leg of my chair there, and it sounded like I farted. Hopefully none of you heard that, you know, it sounded so wrong. Alright. Let's see. And I need my stone backpack. Put that in there. I do actually think this would be a nice thing if I did this idea. But do I just do one singular block, or do I double it up? That is actually perfect. And I could wrap it down like this. Break that. Grab some dirt. Grab some dirt. should use crab dirt instead of, you know, fine, you know, silk-touched grass. Actually, I really do like how this has turned out. This has actually turned out quite nice. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just checking something. There we go. Alright. Oh yeah. I was supposed to expand this. I totally forgot about doing that. Let me go and break my shulker. I knew I forgot something, and it was my pink shulker was here. I left my pink shulker alone for that long. I feel so long, you know, I feel so bad, that's what I meant to say. Not I feel so long, or wrong. Well, I do feel wrong, but you know. You know what, I'll just stop talking. You can listen to me spam, click, you know what, I talked, sorry. Do apologize. You can listen to me spam, click the mouse. I tell you, some people really like the mouse clicks, so that's why it's kind of stayed around, but also, it's something that even if I fix, it doesn't always is a perma-fix. And the reason why I'm saying that is, we've had complaints about it, and then we've had, like, you know, people saying, oh, you know, I really like, you know, the button clicks, you know, it really is nice. It adds some realism to it. But, it's so hard to explain. If I tried to fix it permanently, it would wear off, because if I got a silent mouse, they're not always silent forever. If I use it that much, it eventually gets worn down. And if you're placing down this many blocks in Minecraft, what do you think's going to happen? It gets wear down a lot faster. And that is what happens. It gets down, you know, it gets so worn down that the clicks are just so loud. I could do a double, and that is, you know, bringing us up much more higher than it was originally. Would that be the right idea? It's not the worst idea, if I'm being honest. I could just bring this, you know, up over this angle. Build a tiny little bit of a hill. I need to lay up this hill. It's so dark, that one hill, that mobs just spawn on it constantly, and it's really just problematic. If I'm being honest, it's just really problematic. You know what, I really want to bring in this idea that I've had for a while. And it's about doing like longer episodes, like we used to do. We used to have a, like, it was like super, you know, something day, where I would, you know, play for much more longer. And I should really bring that back, because, you know, I always go over my time, and it's not about an hour, but, like, you know, it would be more special. It would be like super long episodes, like 3 hours, probably, you know, around that. I really do want to bring those back, the super long episodes. I feel like they would be fun to do on the channel again, but it's really just up to people wanting to watch it. As we would say, it's probably up to yous. If I do this, grab my silk touch. Alright. I thought you were a creeper there. I like saw like a creeper there, and I was like, oh no, it's a creeper. But it's just the green and the white and all that, it just intertwined like the face of the creeper. You can... I guess he's gone. Guess he's gone. Can't prove myself to use. No. But I was trying to say, like, there's white on a creeper, and I saw it for a second. It's a creeper, and then I had a total, like, heart attack there. Oh. Why does it do me like that? Alright, let's continue on. My failures, you know, too much to bear. Oops, didn't mean to go a little bit too far over there. I'm trying to make this look more natural, but also nice at the same time. But it's going to be very hard to do. Going to be very hard to do. You can tell that this town's going to be very mountainous by the time that I'm done with it. Like, we do have a lot of, like, you know, bits just opened up around here. We have a lot of old stuff that needs to be cleared up, but I do quite enjoy how the town's turned out so far. There is, like, so much, like, little details on the docks that we still have to do. That's a skeleton. That's a skeleton stuck in the stairs. I knew I would have that problem. I knew I would have that problem. I just thought it would not be this soon. Oops. I mean to do that. I have dirt back at home that I saw in the chest earlier, so we'll have to grab some of that soon. I will also light up that spot. Wherever torches are, I'll lift them up. That's what I'll do. Because I know how important the torches are in their placement a lot of the time for stopping mobs from spawning. And really, in the slices, you don't really need to, you know, you don't really need to have them in the slices for spiders, because spiders don't spawn there. There we go. Ooh, forgot about that bit there. Place that there, place that there. I do really like how this area is turning out, actually. I was very hesitant with it before, but I really do like how this is turning out. How am I supposed to... Maybe I'm building it a little bit too high. Or... I'm starting to doubt myself. That's what I'm starting to do. Maybe it's too high. You know what, we'll shrink it down by one block. I know that kind of just matches the area beside it, but... Who cares? Who cares? We're here to have fun, not struggle. I also have to place back all these torches now. Oops. I didn't mean to do that there. Wherever these guys are, we place a torch. There we go. Yeah, that actually looks quite nice. And also, I did realize that this is not going up by one block, this area. So, I do not have to worry about it being the same height. So it'll just be that one block off. And it won't be that bad. 2 blocks, I feel like it's a little bit too much. I feel like it is a little bit too much. There we go. Place that there. Oops, I did not mean to place that there. There we go. Break that. I was about to place the wrong block there. There we go. Yeah, that's actually looking quite nice. Yo, how's it going? You checking out the real estate? Look at this real estate. It's all nice. No? No? Window shoppers. How could they? How could they? I do want to actually employ llamas as citizens of this place. That has always been a dream. That has always been a dream. Llama citizens. So that's what I'm going to do. I keep burping and it's really annoying. I do apologize. I do apologize. Oop, didn't mean to do that. I guess I'm in there a little bit, yeah. I knew it. I knew it. Alright, grab the dirt from the backpack. That... Please, Firefly, please. That Firefly is insufferable. No. Perfect. Oop. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, block fell over here. A few blocks fell over here. Why did you not tell me that some blocks fell over here? How could you? How could you? Alright. Need to fix that floating block issue that we're seeing here. Ah. This torch seems to be a big issue to now. Just shove one of these in the backpack. There we go. Fixes the whole issue. Fixes the whole issue. I can get rid of that now. Alright. Now, if I do this here, there is no floating blocks here. No, there is floating blocks here. It's just on top. And it's a grass block. That grass block caused me so much trouble. How could it? How could it? Alright, now let me shove those grass blocks there and put that in there. Grab the bricks. Now I do this. And bam! That is that wall complete now. I heard something walk behind me, and it's the stupid Firefly. It keeps doing like the walking sound, and it sounds so like a creeper, and it's really like, really off-putting. Really off-putting. What could we talk about while I'm working on this? I guess we could talk more about history of the channel. We've been talking about that for like the last while, and I might as well talk about it a little bit more. So, on the channel we have had a lot of history over the years, and I'm trying to think of something that would be nice to talk about. I think one of the friendships I've really enjoyed the most has definitely have to be with Beanie Boy. Because, you know, I really like, you know, how would I describe it? Makes me think the generation next is not going to be as bad as the generation before it. That's what I'm going to say. Especially in Britain. As a lot of them are terrible. A lot of them, you know, are all like gangster like. For no reason. No reason. Or they're like super religious. That's another thing. Nothing against religion, I tell you. It's just, these ones like fight other religions. For no reason. And I don't want to get into that like whole conflict because it's basically like stupidity. It's just basically stupidity by the point. Blood being spilt for nothing but text. I feel like they should feel some shame for that because, you know, I don't think whatever religion they would be, you know, under would want that. Innocent blood being spilt for nothing. Like, we went off topic there. What we were talking about? we were going into some deep stuff there. Oh, that just reminded me of something. I really wanted to do something that I've been seeing going around. It's a trend. And that is following like religious rules in Minecraft. And I really like that idea because how funny it is. Uh, it's a cool idea. That's what I'm gonna say. It's a cool idea. And you know what? I did actually think about something similar a few years back. And I will say, I like the twist that they've done on it better than what I, was gonna do. That's what I'm gonna say. I like the twist that they done it on, that they did, than the one I was gonna do. The one I was gonna do was terrible. Like, it was kind of sucky. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. That is not too bad at all. But that was like a few years back. This is when I was coming up with series ideas. I still actually have like files. And I would make like a file section. And it would be like, ideas, like series ideas. And you know what? I could actually go and read you like a couple of them if you would like. It is in a certain area that is I labelled as... We're looking for something that's old. Minecraft worlds and more. This is where I place all of my Minecraft worlds. This is Jungle Paradise, the mod pack from the 25th of January 2023. Let's see, Minecraft worlds, new MC worlds, and then we have Jungle Paradise Golden Age saves here. All the way up to 950. We've hit the goal. So I'm probably going to have to do another save, to be honest. Which I'm not really looking forward to because, how big a lot of these saves are now. The VTuber Craft SMP is 3 gigabytes. That's a lot. The thing is, I just don't want to lose it. I think that's my problem, I should really transfer it over to USB. I actually do have some of them transferred over to USB. I just need to find the USB. Let's see. I'm looking for series ideas, but it actually has an R in it, so it's ideas. So deer. We have Crazy Craft. We have my first Minecraft modded survival series remastered. It doesn't have everything, I don't think so, but it has a lot. Herobrine Hunt Legacy. It's a Legend of Herobrine mod. Lord of the Rings. That's our Lord of the Rings series. Dennis Paradox. I was actually revamping that mod pack to do Minecraft, my own family Minecraft family thing. Let's see. I can't remember what I actually called it. It had a better name. I just, named it that because it's basically the idea where it came from. Rebirth. Minecraft Jungle Paradise Rebirth. 1.16.4, and it's really dry, that mod pack. 1.7.10 Jungle Paradise. Jungle Paradise Remastered. Is that really a remaster? It's very basic. That's all from 2021. I might actually delete that because it seems useless, if I'm being honest. It seems useless. I'm deleting that. Jungle Paradise. You know what? Properties. When was it made? And let's see. It says created 2023, but obviously that's not correct. Previous versions, customized, no. Rename. Minecraft Jungle Paradise Remastered to 1.7.10. That's actually a one that I will actually delete, because it was not good. Sorry, I'm getting distracted over here. We have Minecraft The Dead Walk Again. That was my zombie survival series, I'm pretty sure. Wasn't actually that bad. It was for 1.7.10. I think it was laggy. think it was laggy. Limb dismemberment. It wasn't that bad. Race to the Moon. I've always wanted to do a Race to the Moon series for years. Like long before I started this channel. But I never got around to doing it. Minecraft, the Seasons of the Lands Between. That's a very old name there. Sweet World. That was a Minecraft mod based around sweet. Everything being sweets. I think it was based around a texture pack actually. Sorry, we got off track of what we were actually doing here. And we are at 1 hour and 35 minutes. That's a long time. Should I make this just elevated, this entire bit here? I could do that. I should probably do that. Oh, my nose, I need to blow it soon. It is really annoying now. Alright, so do this. I'm pretty sure I trimmed off a few layers of these back in the day. These little hill bits I'm working on now. I'm basically adding it back. It cracks me up that. Alright, grab some dirt. There we go. And how does that seem? Not that bad actually. Does seem a little bit chunky around this bit right here. So I may actually get rid of that a little bit. It's long, but you know, it shall do. I don't think that looks too bad, to be honest. You can see where I'm working on the map now. And that is this area here. It's not actually that bad. Yeah, I quite enjoy that. I quite enjoy that. The thing is, I should really probably plan out where the builds are gonna go before I continue. Like, I was supposed to do a build somewhere over here. I might actually remove this field that you're seeing right here. I like this field, but I feel like I could do so much better with the terrain, making it come wrapping around a little bit more. And then I could do a better wheat field. What do you think? I feel like that is a nicer idea, to be honest. It's gotta be so much wheat, to be honest. Oh, I accidentally broke already. Alright, how about I do that? It also means I get all of the seeds back from spending on this whole project. But double. Hopefully double. It looks so empty about all of that wheat. We had that wheat growing for a long time, to be honest. A long time. Let me walk around and kind of just pick it all up. I really did like how this, wheat field turned out. It was really experimental, but I think it really did turn out like, superior. I have a lot of wheat now. I always hated what was it? It was Minecraft 1.0 or beta. if you walked on your farmland, it would be destroyed. And when you look back at like farms, you know, older Minecraft, you always think like, why are they built like that, you know? And it's because a lot of the time, if you stood on it, it breaks. And it was really annoying back then. Sorry, I just remembered that and just wanted to talk about that again. It's been for ages since I last talked about that. Let's see. Yeah, I should really plug these all up. There we go. Oops. Now I'm kind of just gotta leave these in here. It will eventually start to dry up and then return back to its natural self. But that does also mean that I get to expand a lot of this area actually. I think I get to fix up that road there as well that leads up there. So that is a lot of dirt I'm gonna need. That is a lot of dirt that I'm going to need. But I do think that is where we shall end off for today. You know what? Because I've not done it in a while, I might as well raid out. So that's what we're gonna do. Maybe, you know what? I've not done it in a while, but you know what? I'll leave it for now. Alright. So, 1,100 episodes. You know what? I might as well check and see if there's anyone that I should raid out to. It's been forever. Might as well check. Let me close secondary screen. You know what? There's only one person that I know that is live now. I could send you to Midnight Sumo Wrestling, but I'm not gonna do that to you. But you know what? I do know where I'm going to send you off to. So, hopefully you did enjoy episode 1100 of Minecraft Jumper's Golden Age. Doesn't feel that long, you know. Does not feel like that long. You know? Like, I feel like it was just yesterday, to be honest. It feels just like yesterday. Alright. You know what, I'm trying to get the name. I'll just do it up there. Bam. That'll be where we raid out to. So, slash. I always mess up, I tell you. I always hold shift when I'm trying to do something. And we'll go to Animita. Ah. You know what? Let's see. Who can I send you off to, I tell you? Who can I send you off to? Giga is playing. Giga 6V. It always reminds me of batteries. They're currently playing a shooting game, you know what? Might as well go and see them. That's what I'll do. There we go. So, that is where we're going to go off to. Hopefully you enjoy this. Have a nice day, stay safe, hope it's possible. Need to keep the veterans very important. I'm very things above the CCs. Bye bye.